my best friend. Didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you, you and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime rumors. We were in too deep. In your worn out sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever. Driving in your mom's old hatchback, and we were in too deep. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young, be young, be young. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young forever. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young, be young, be young. Cause I'm thinking we'll be. Where did it begin? Where did it end? Hanging on loose strings, unable to bend. I never listened, trying to prove it, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you, you and me so clueless.
Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Now this is a very quick introduction because I am mega late, but I'm on my way to Black Ice in Manchester from Durham. Basically the gym doesn't open here until 8 in the morning, which meant I was really tight fitting in my cardio and then getting on the road in time. Got my breakfast in the car, gonna munch that, and then I'll hopefully be able to catch up with you at some point. If not, I will speak to you in Manchester and fully explain myself. And I have made it to Manchester, so that was a very stressful journey. I just made it. Traffic was quite busy, but I didn't get stuck in anything, so I'm here. I've got like 10 minutes to spare. I'm parked just down the road, so I just thought I would update you guys. Today is my first fitting for my bikini, so we're gonna go in, take my measurements, pick colours and things, and just chat about the look that we want to bring. And I mean, I have a few colours in mind, but Mandy, who is the amazing lady behind Black Ice, I'm sure she will also point me in the right direction. I think it's definitely best to go with a colour that you feel comfortable with, but also to know what's going to suit you. And I definitely think that sometimes someone else's opinion can make you be like, ah, actually I never even thought about that colour for myself. I can get in quite a rut, and red has always been my confidence colour and one of my favourite colours, and I wore red last year and I loved it, but I do want to try something different this year. So I'm excited to see what she thinks, but yeah, it's been a stressful morning. I had to eat both my meals in the car on the go. There's stuff everywhere, like, let me just show you. So this is the floor of my passenger side. I've got 2 empty Tupperwares that's got a bit less in it, that's it. Rice cakes, so many water bottles. I have my trusty meal prep bag here, and it is actually a training day today, so I'm thinking I'm going to stop at Ultraflex Leeds on the way back and train, because I've got my pre-workout meal with me and my post-workout. However, I did make that in 2 hours, or 2 hours and 15 minutes. So if the traffic's as good on the way back, I actually might be able to get back to Ultraflex Durham. So that would be ideal, because I know the kit, I know my session can be exactly the same, but we'll see. I'm literally about to go in now, so I'm going to take you guys with me. I probably won't film loads, but I'll get some little shots for you and I'll talk you through some things afterwards.
A few moments later.
Okay, so out of the fitting, I have chosen my bikinis. I have 2 bikinis this year, 2 different colours, and I love them both. I am so excited to see the final product, because I've chosen like the fabrics and the gems, but not like the obviously you don't see the finished product. So in about 7 weeks, I will be back here to collect, which I am very excited about. But anyway, change of plan. I was going to stop at Leeds and train on the way home, but I actually have enough time to eat my pre-workout meal on the road made the cookies again, so go back a few videos to my preparing to travel video to find out the recipe for that. So I'm going to eat those on the road and just head back to Durham and train there. I need to stop and get fuel and probably a coffee, so I will do that in a little bit, but I'm going to get on the road and I will catch you at Durham for leg day. Okay, I've made it back. I'm back at Ultraflex Durham and I'm about to go and train legs. I am exhausted, but it'll be fine. I've got a little bit of coffee left, so I'm gonna drink this, go in, smash out a leg session, and then I actually got quite a few questions on a little Q&A box that I popped up on my Instagram. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna round off the vlog section of this video here, and then probably tomorrow now, I will sit down and talk you through the process of getting your bikini fitted, answering all your questions. A big one was like about choosing colours and how you do it, how to decide. So I will chat you through all that soon, but for now, coffee, leg session, and then I'm pretty sure I'll be ready for bed. Hi guys, so it's now the following day and I'm just gonna chat you through like the process of choosing your bikini, going for a fitting, and then I asked on Instagram and quite a few of you had some questions you wanted answered, so I will get to those as well. So I work with Black Ice Bikinis. I am a sponsored athlete, but I would say this anyway, like absolute best in the business in my opinion. Mandy is so good at what she does. Her bikinis are always amazing, and I was so ridiculously happy with my 2020 suit, the red bikini. It was my absolute dream. She brought it to life and I felt so good in it. So when she asked me to be on her team, I was delighted, and I'm so excited to show you guys what we have in store for this year. So I went for my fitting. I am 12 weeks out, so I would advise going for your fitting somewhere around the 14 to maybe 10 week mark. I think it takes 8 weeks to turn around a bikini, so you want to make sure that you are not leaving it to the last minute. So when you go for your fitting, you go in. I absolutely love the Black Ice kind of studio. You've got all your bikinis you can have a look at, or a lot of different colours and colourways. You can try them on. You also have all the material samples, crystal samples, connector samples, so you can really see everything, as well as different cup shapes and knicker shapes and things like that. So because this wasn't my first fitting, we kind of dove straight into choosing colours, because that was the main thing we wanted to hone in on, as I wasn't sure. We kind of narrowed in on our 2 colours that we wanted, and then we went and sat down just with the crystals kind of out in front of us, and I was taking a few of each kind of colour crystal, putting them on top of the fabric we had chosen, and seeing the combination that we wanted to do. We want to make sure that our bikinis are always like unique, that we're not just copying another one, but that it's going to really suit you and the look that you want to bring, because even just one different colour crystal can make the bikini look totally different. So that is a super fun part. We then just went over connector styles and things. Now I'm a very plain Jane, so I don't tend to go for anything too fancy, but there are so many different ones that you can choose from, and it's a really good way to put your own stamp on a bikini. Like I said, I'm just a plain person, so I tend to go to the straight connectors, but even with that, there's still a few variations you can choose from. So it's definitely good to just kind of have a little think, have a play around, hold the connectors up to your body and see what you're gonna prefer. So I think normally you do measurements first, but because we already had a rough idea of my measurements, we then did them at the end. So normally, I remember the first fitting I went to that we tried on like a plain black just velvet suit to make sure we knew what style that we were going to go for, and then just to have a play around with the bottoms and things as well. I will add in here that when you go for your fitting, definitely make sure you wear small knickers, like the smallest thong you can possibly wear. I could not find any socially acceptable underwear that day, and so I ended up with kind of annoying having to like fold over all my knickers all the time. So make sure you wear a teeny thong when you go for your fitting, so that you can get the truest representation, because obviously when you're trying on suits, you kind of need the knickers on for hygiene. So just make sure that you think of that ahead of time. But the fitting process itself is actually super simple. It's just measurements and then finding out the colour and crystal ways that are going to work for you. And obviously like, Mandy's really good like at taking an idea and kind of going with it, and I'm always never really sure, especially I haven't had dark hair for all that long, so I still sometimes don't know what colours super suit me. So it was definitely good to have someone's objective opinion on colours and things like that. So I did ask for a few questions on Instagram if anyone had some, so I do have a couple, so I'm going to go over them here so they can all be answered in depth. So the first one was deciding, have I decided on a colour, or also how to decide on a colour. So I have decided on my 2 colours, and I think colour choice is something very personal and is something really hard to give blanket advice on. What I would say is, what colours do you feel confident wearing outside of the stage? I think it's really easy to get sidetracked and think, oh, I want, you know, say you want like a bright blue bikini, but you might never wear blue in real life, you know. And then when I was choosing my bikini last year, I went for red because red in real life is my colour that I feel best in. Like if I had a really kind of important night out or something coming up, I would almost always opt for like a red dress. It's just my power colour, so it's just that colour that I feel good in. So last year it was, I tried a bunch of different other colours, but I just kept coming back to red and was like, no, that is the one. You also do kind of have to take into account your skin tone, hair colour and the federation. So for example, competing with the NPC, IFBB, Two Bros, whatever you want to call it, they like bright colours. So I'm talking blue, purple, green, red, pink. Did I say purple? Purple. So kind of your brighter colours. Now that's not to say that you would do, and I know that girls have won classes in black bikinis, in silver bikinis, in kind of lilac or pale pink bikinis, absolutely possible, 100%. But in general, and if the class was close, especially bikini does have a really big emphasis on the overall look, you know, how your suit suits you, that's a tongue twister, and your presentation overall. So it's just something I would never want to have as a factor. And I mean, depending on your skin tone as well, you could possibly go with a more obscure colour, maybe like an orange or a yellow, but again, it would be a very, very specific skin tone it would suit. And for me personally, I just would not want that playing on my mind. So depending on where you're going, just stick with the colours that you know work best. And if in doubt, ask your bikini maker for advice, because 9 times out of 10, they will be able to help you either go down a route that's going to suit you best or know what the federation you are competing in is going to look for. Hey guys, sorry, future me just jumping in because I didn't actually properly cover the question about skin tone and colours and hair colour and things like that. So hair colour I think can be a bit subjective because obviously there's lots of different tones of blonde, lots of different tones of brown, but I do think skin tone does play a lot into it. And so like for example, I know a lot of girls with like dark hair that really suit kind of like blue tones or cooler tones, but for me personally, I have a slightly warmer complexion even when I'm not tanned, and so I find I need something with a bit of warmth behind it. So anything too icy just doesn't look right. So again, it's very, very personal, and even like things like hair colour definitely do come into play. For example, like I feel like if you've got like red hair or something, you probably don't want a red bikini, but you probably would look amazing in like a green or a purple, or something that really contrasts it. So definitely want to have a play around with, and that is why I think going for a fitting is just a really good idea, especially as a first timer, so you can try all this out before you make the jump. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I then had another question, which is how like choosing the right shape or connectors for your body shape. So again, this is something that your bikini maker will help with a lot, but again, in terms of shape and things like that, there's not a whole lot you can do depending on the federation. So again, I'm speaking from a Two Bros NPC IFBB standpoint, is that they don't want you to wear a bigger knicker on stage. I think it's American Pro is the bottom shape that Mandy pretty much advises for everyone competing in tuberose. You can do a larger knicker to cover more glute, but it's probably not going to work in your favour. And the same with the cups. You can have a cup without connectors, but it is just the done thing, and it's not to say you would ever be penalised for wearing a bikini without connectors, but you just don't know. So you want to make sure that you don't stick out for the wrong reasons with that. Now, again, just make sure you speak to your bikini maker so they can advise you on cups and things. For me, I am very flat chested. It only gets worse as the more I prep. I basically have nothing. So I need a cup where I can put lots of stuffing in there. If you have fake boobs, big boobs that don't go anywhere when you diet, then you may need less of a cup and less padding in there. So again, just run that by them. But there's very few things you can do to physically change the shape of a bikini if you are trying to fit in with that specific criteria. I know figure suits are a bit different as well, and you can get different cut backs, but in general you want to make sure that you're bringing the look that they want you to wear so that you can be compared to the other girls. If your bikini is so different that it's hard to compare you, it might work against you. We also have how far in advance. So I know this year's a bit different because Mandy's pregnant and expecting a little baby Black Ice, which I'm so excited for. But I would always recommend between that 14 and 10 week mark to go for your initial fitting. I think the turnaround is 8 weeks, and then I would advise picking your bikini up 4 to 3 weeks pre-show. You want to make sure that you can go and pick it up with time for alterations, just in case. I will be submitting another kind of hip bone measurement closer to the time to make sure that it is going to fit properly around my hips. I'm going to have to pick my suit up at 6 weeks out this year, so again, something we will take into consideration when I go to pick it up. But in a normal year, I would definitely try and do it kind of 3 to 4 weeks out. The thing is that once the bikinis are made, they are quite hard to be altered. So you need to make sure that you kind of measure correctly. There's a whole guide on how to measure yourself for your bikini fitting as well over on the website and the Instagram. So I'll link both of those below if you need a hand, but just making sure that you have everything spot on and that's why I like to go for a fitting, is I do not trust myself to do my whole lot of measurements on my own. I like to see her in person. I like to be able to try the bikinis on, try the different colours on, and then just see how things go from there. It might seem like a tight fit. Like I remember getting my red bikini and being like, how am I gonna fit in these tiny little knickers? But as much as they are delicate, they are designed to go over muscle, so they can fit on, they can stretch on that little bit, and all is absolutely fine. So yeah, that was just my little bikini roundup. I'm not going to share my colours before stage because I just really love a show day reveal. Feels like my wedding day. So I just want to make sure that I can do that big old show day reveal and share with you guys the colours for both of my suits. And there's going to be 2 different looks for both shows, which I am so excited for. And it means I get to be quite creative with my other sponsors as well, which is Kompak Women. So I think I might even try and just bring a totally different look to both shows, have an experiment with it, because there's a few things I've never tried on stage and I want to give it a go. But anyway, I'm going to round that video off here. I hope that this was interesting, you learned something. But yeah, that was my little road trip to Black Ice. I'm sure I'll bring you along when I collect my new babies very, very soon. But thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and there will be a new video next week. Bye!